What I learned, I'm tired today because we travelled for 4 days. It takes 2 days to get over and 2 days to get back. I go back to Rwanda tomorrow. It is the Switzerland of Africa. It has no democracy. I mean, I thought democracy worked everywhere. It doesn't need to work in Africa because it's surrounded. Rwanda has 4 neighbours that are basket cases and very dangerous. And I've never seen better roads, never seen a cleaner city. I've never seen cleaner coffee farms. There is poverty, massive amount of poverty, but the government have a system of educating the kids. They all are promised or have access to 1 cow each. They're on $1.40 a day if you're working in the coffee farms. So it's pretty similar to Ethiopia. The soil is fabulous, so you can grow your beans, you can grow your maize, I didn't see anybody starving, which I do in a lot of other countries, particularly Africa. So I found the people extraordinary. They were as friendly to us. Kids didn't where we were, which was hours drive down to Ruhango. They didn't seem to get a lot of white visitors, and Muzungi or something used to call us, which is white man. And they didn't beg a lot. A lot of them they were half afraid of us. So the farming communities down there, like living very close to the edge, we do support it through the health system, and we were thanked for the few thousand we give, which I was surprised at. They're very happy to see people. They love visitors. They made us very, very welcome in Ruhango. I would travel back there tomorrow. We achieved a brilliant relationship with the farming community. There is a lot of kids down there. There's too many kids. I mean, it's just everywhere you go, you see children. But I think they got a sense of me, because I had to say a few words. I certainly think they got a sense of Yolanta, because a lady who didn't want to talk to me, but she told Yolanta she was in the coffee business, which was picking cherries. So it's not really in the coffee business for something like since she was 7 or 8. I couldn't understand what she said. She just asked, could we taste the coffee sometime? So all of these hundreds of thousands, even all the farmers, the main guy we met, which was Jan, he had never tasted his own coffee, which I found extraordinary. I've seen it in Ethiopia, but I just didn't think, because Rwanda is quite a lot more advanced. Like the city is like going into the IFSC. It's just amazing how advanced their banking, their services is. But go back to the coffee farmers or the coffee pickers who were on very little money every day. They'd never seen or tasted coffee, and that's what was a bit of a surprise. They've no sports. There's not even a football pitch within the 10 kilometers or 12 kilometers. They have clean water. They've no animals. They don't do pets because they eat chickens. They eat rabbits. A lot of rabbits. They have very few cows. We saw 3 cows in the whole trip, and goats are a big source of meat. But the kids were very well looked after, and what we did was got a sense of there's a hell of a bond there, and we were the first people to visit and make a big effort, because it is hard work going to Coffee Origin. A lot of companies don't do it. Most of them don't, because they just don't put the time into it, and it's expensive. But I think we've built a bond second to none with the families out there, and buy more coffee is the plan, and maybe support more coffee trees to some of the people who cannot. They'll never be afford to get coffee trees, and maybe a football pitch if we get everything right. The key standout moment was when I was doing the interview with the coffee farmer, and I asked, would anybody like to ask Yolanta, who is our factory manager. Yolanta's Polish, and they said, would anybody, all the women, because they're not treated as equally as men, absolutely facts in any producing or any third world country. But when the lady asked Yolanta a question, she put up her hand when no one else would. And I think when she actually said, she asked us a favour, could we bring some coffee or ship some coffee over to her in their little village? I think that was the most astounding moment. It was a wake-up call to us all. And then I did another visit to a house, and then I realised the poverty, and maybe these kids will end up going, they will get educated. Whether they'll get back into the city, I don't think they will ever survive on the land, because there's too many people there. Like, it's the most populated country in Africa for the size of the country, and every piece of land you can grow food. So the standout was one lady, I don't know what age she was, but she actually had the nerve to ask a question where everybody else put their heads down. I just thought there was a fantastic bond between herself and Yolanta. There was hugs and kind of a great embrace near the end. So that to me was, after the 4 days, and I've since been in Africa, this is my 7th or 8th time, but that was the standout moment. Yeah, I'm going to follow through. It wasn't my idea, the football pitch, but I'd love to have a football pitch down there because they don't have any sports. We didn't bring any blow footballs, we brought pencils because we couldn't fit anything else in our bags. That was a disaster giving them out. But love to, and it would cost very little, is to buy a little piece of land or parcel, even rent it off them and give them a football pitch. And they don't do lawnmowers, they don't do any, it's like go back into the Stone Age. They've no way of cutting grass. So we'd have to put a gang of strimmers together to try and make sure that we give them and call them a football team. And I think that would be as important because the schools are brilliantly educated. The schools are beautifully built, very modern, the houses are right, just they need some cash because of extra clothes and school material, books. University is out of the reach of 99%. I don't think that's possible. But I am really impressed with Paul Kilgamy, who's the president of the plan which brought them from the genocide in 1994 to the most prosperous city or country I've ever seen in my lifetime in coffee. So I think Rwanda is, you could invest in Rwanda tomorrow in any form, not just coffee, in every way. I mean, there wasn't a single gym in the city. I just think our country, our city in Dublin has got opportunities. So I think we need to share what we saw. And I would love to encourage another group to go out there, put a big group next year, early next year, and make some promises to these guys that we will deliver on not just buying really good quality specialty coffee, but help them on the coffee trees to some of the really poor farmers who haven't a hope of buying the trees, which are very cheap by the way, and also maybe give them some little bit of a difference on having a football pitch, a basic football pitch, so the kids can play some sport.